Here, recording Taiwan special number 2. I'm really stretched to try to find something positive to say, but I'm at a loss this week. And there's stuff going on inside Taiwan, and I'm kind of sad. I mean, it just really makes me sad. I really believe that people can be redeemed, and I'm not giving up. I'm not saying Taiwan's bad. That's not what I'm saying. Taiwan is good. Everybody does bad things. I do bad, stupid things. Hello. You do too. Hopefully you know that. I was just talking with my mom at home, and in one of the kids are always at my mom's house. And I mean, maybe they're hers, maybe they're someone else's. I mean, they get up and get 25 years old and come back and visit mom. She's just one of those awesome people. And one of the kids was there, and she said, how are you? And I said, I'm grouchy today, I said, but I know that I'm grouchy. See, it's okay to be grouchy as long as you know you're having a grouchy day. See, usually when you're grouchy, you think it's everybody else who's grouchy. You're all grouchy. I'm not grouchy. Yeah, right. No, I was grouchy and I knew it. So I just, we all have problems, and I have problems, but good people push through their problems, and they try to increase the things that are good. Taiwan has many redeeming qualities. It's about 50-50, and I'm not sure if Taiwan is serious enough to become good enough to deal with their own demons. We got to clean out our closets. We got skeletons in there, or we got, there's a lot that goes on in Taiwan that I'm not talking about. I'm not going to tell you. It's the Muller. It's kind of like the Muller investigation. You can't give a perspective on this because I lived in Taiwan 10 years, and so I got a perspective on stuff that goes on. They're not disclosing many of the details of Muller's investigation because it's for the same reason. Let's take you as an example. If someone you don't like accused you of doing something bad, and then the police went into your house based on with a warrant, a lawful warrant based on testimony, and they went into your house and they took pictures of what they saw. They come out, they get all done, and they say, nope, we don't find anything illegal. Sorry, can't prosecute. They are not allowed to publicly post pictures of your dirty underwear lying on the floor. If that was illegal, or if that was legal, if it were okay for someone to accuse you of something, the police to get a warrant, go into your house, take pictures of your dirty underwear on the floor, come out and say there's nothing illegal, but here's pictures of his dirty underwear, then everybody who doesn't like anybody would accuse people all the time to get pictures of their dirty underwear out. And in America, no one is above the law. Everyone is under the law and protected by the law. And if you can do that to a president, you can do it to the people. If the Democrat voters can force that to be done to Trump, then Trump can force that to be done to the people. Because we live in a country where everyone's equal. Now, Taiwan, the idea that all people are equal, it says so on paper in their democracy, but they've still got that Chinese imperialism that they haven't let go of. Taiwan wants to stay outside of China, but Taiwan's culture has to get the China out of Taiwan. And that's a tall order. And if China manages to attack Taiwan and to forcefully take Taiwan over, it will only be because Taiwan refused to get the China out of Taiwan, the culture, the old imperial Confucian culture. Confucian, from Confucius. So, we all have our demons to wrestle with. And we're at a decision point. What's Taiwan going to do? I don't know. There are prophecies out there available to the public. It's not secret. There's a homecoming movement That's a thing. I'm not really on with the homecoming movement. I'm about the prayer movement. I like prayer. We need prayer. We pray. Angels take the dust, the incense, whatever, the smoke that comes up from our spirit, the spiritual smoke comes. Like when you pray, it's like you're Super Saiyan 3, like, Dragon Ball Z, like there's this flame around you and it puts up smoke that angels can touch. You can't see it. And the angels grab that and they use that to beat back the demons. Spiritual warfare, Frank Peretti. How all does it work? I don't know. But prayer does make more than zero difference. And the more you pray, the more angels can do stuff. Call it how you want, measure it how you want. Whatever we want to see, whether we want to see homecoming movement, which is the gospel, goes all the way around the world and comes back to Israel through the East. Whether we're talking about local church, we got to have local church stuff. Whether we're talking about, we need political revival, whatever it is, it doesn't happen without prayer. As a Linux developer, I like to work low in the stack. Politically, I wanted to understand real life. It's why I live in Asia. So I'm all about prayer movement. Whatever movement you want. There's stuff from the homecoming movement, the gospel will go around and go back through China and then through the Middle East and come back to Israel. The different countries will start evangelizing more and more and more, and the fire will spread across the world that way. That it went westward until it comes all the way back around. There's a homecoming movement. There's a prayer movement. There's lots of prophecy. None of it says whether or not Taiwan will make the right decision in the end. It looks like it could, but we don't know. And we're at a precipice. Will Taiwan make the decision to wrestle with their demons? And ultimately, it's not about legal reform. There needs to be some legal reform, but it's about Taiwan taking the China out of Taiwan. It's not banning China from ever doing anything in Taiwan, not doing North and South Korea separation, but the culture, the imperialist Confucius culture of China, taking that out of Taiwan's culture. They need to come to Jesus moment about it. I was just talking with a kid last night. I said, I applied for this residency and they didn't approve it. And so now I've got to go make some phone calls and I'm getting other people involved and I don't know what they're going to do. I'm not going to back down on this. If those people fail to make a difference, I'm going to have to make another phone call and it's going to get worse and worse. And we go more and more down the rabbit hole and find out how deep these cultural Confucian problems are. I hope they act soon because it needs to be not political suicide for American politicians to support Taiwan. But the more Taiwan digs their heels in and refuses to deal with their demons, refuses to get the China out of Taiwan as far as the culture, the more they do that, the more of the bad optics are going to be. And it is interesting. I had a friend over here. He needed a car part for his Land Rover or something. And I said, well, okay, I'll help you out. So I said, what's a car part? And he went, well, it's a car part. And he showed it to me. I said, and he sent me a link on eBay. I said, okay, I'm going to buy this part here. Is that the part? Yeah, that's the part. It's the car part. I said, well, okay, I'm not a mechanic. I said, you send me the link. I'm going to buy that car part. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, hurry up. Okay. So I bought the car part. And I charged him exactly the amount of money for the cost and the shipping. I'm not in the trade business. So I said, okay, here's a car part. He gets it. Okay. A few weeks later, it's the wrong part. I'm like, any American probably wouldn't have made that mistake. They would have found the right car part number. Second of all, if an American had gotten the wrong car part, they would kind of be embarrassed, not angry. This guy's a boss. This is what's going on in Taiwanese companies all over the place. And it's Confucian culture. He's the boss. See, the reason he makes that mistake, he's the boss. So by definition, he can't make mistakes. And all problems are the employee's problem. Well, guess what? I'm not his employee. So shouting, huh, 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 isn't going to make me jump and sing. And so the more Americans we get in Taiwan, the more the Taiwanese are going to have to grow up. Just this week, so, as a former, it was in the South China Morning Post. Former bigwigs from Taiwan and America were kind of having a little a banter of words. And China, no one can tell us what to do. We rise to power if you'd say so or not. And America, well, you got to not act like an adolescent. Economically, you got to make good choices. You got to do the right thing. Economically, you got to, be mature and stuff. And so America sees it about not being a child, a brat teenager. Adolescent was a very nice word he chose to use. It's in Pacific Times. It was in the Pacific Times cadence story this week about it was in one of the two South China Morning Post SCMP links. But yeah, you had these two former diplomats, I think was how it worked, and they were going at it. And China doesn't want people to tell them what to do. And America's saying China's got to grow up and stop acting like a teenager and act like an adult. And we're happy for China to have power if they act like an adult. They got to act like an adult. And China's going, you can't tell us what to do. We decide what we decide. China, we will have power. We will have power. That's what they say. China never says we'll do better. They never say we'll be mature. They never say we'll grow up. They never say that. You will be able to trust us. They never even think to lie about that. So they don't even think anything to say it. They just, we will do what we want to do. We will decide us. Teenager. And that same culture is in Taiwan with the bosses. It's why the companies have trouble and have trouble making money. How is Taiwan going to buy defense equipment if they're not making money? If the boss can't even get the car part right for his own Land Rover, how are they going to get the specs right for their orders? How are they going to get trust? America needs Taiwan to become strong, and we've got to take the Confucian imperial China out of Taiwan, or Taiwan's going to get swallowed up by China because it was still married to the Confucian imperialism. And we're at a crossroads here, and the solution is for Taiwan to welcome the Americans and other Westerners and Easterners, to welcome foreigners into their country. They don't have to grant them citizenship, I suppose, but they need to be welcoming and nice to the people who do arrive. See, America, they don't let enough people arrive, or whatever. That's the argument, maybe. Taiwan, they let people arrive, and then they're mean to them once they get in here. And so that's got to somehow or another stop. And Taiwan needs to come to Jesus moment about this. So I'm going to continue to be as patient as I can be, but I don't know if Taiwan's going to be capable of learning. We'll see. I really believe in redemption. I believe in good things. But, there comes a time when you've got to say what's going on. And I've been so grieved by stuff like this that goes deeper and deeper and deeper over the last 10 years. I've tried to be quiet about it, but time's up. We'll see what happens over the next week. Until then,